Prime Minister Modi met Twitter chief Elon Musk today, along with a dozen other thought leaders in New York City. Significantly, it wasn't just the first meeting between the two since Musk took over Twitter, but also the first since the furor over Jack Dorsey's claim. Jack Dorsey, the former CEO of Twitter, his claim that India tried to gag the microblogging site if Twitter did not take down tweets critical of the Modi government, especially during the anti-farm law agitation. Now, in a double whammy of sorts, not only did Elon Musk today say that Twitter must follow the law of the land, almost seemingly contradicting what Jack Dorsey had said, but to add to it, he for good measure declared that he himself is a fan of the Prime Minister.
Twitter doesn't have a choice but to obey local governments. You know, if we don't obey local government laws, then we will get shut down. So the best we can do is really to hew close to the law in any given country. But it is impossible for us to do more than that, or we will be blocked and our people will be arrested. So one cannot just apply, America to Earth, because Earth is not. They have different rules and regulations and different forms of government. So, but we'll do the best to provide the freest speech that is possible under the law.
I'm actually incredibly excited about the future of India. I think India has more promise than any large country in the world. He really cares about India because he's pushing us to make significant investments in India, which is something that we intend to do. It was a fantastic meeting with the Prime Minister, and I like him quite a lot. I am a fan of Modi. So.
Now, the amusing outcome of Musk's statement is that erstwhile IT law experts today mutated into language experts. His sentences through the day have been parsed and examined to finally declare that not only is Elon Musk not giving a clean sheet to the Modi Sarkar, he in fact is outright condemning it.
एलन मस्क दुनिया के बहुत बड़े व्यापारी और जो कुछ उन्होंने प्रतिक्रिया दी है वो पूरी व्यापारिक प्रतिक्रिया है। दोनों से वार्ता होने के बाद जहां तक सवाल है उनका अगर हित सधेगा तो उसके फैन हो जाएंगे, जब भारत का ही अकेले से हित सधेगा तो निराश हो जाएंगे।
If you are a company, Indian or foreign, big or small, if you are operating in India and offering products or services to Indians, you have to comply with Indian law. India is a democracy where the rule of law prevails. Some people in the Congress find probably difficulty in understanding it. There are many lawbreakers there, and as far as Jack Dorsey's comment is concerned, I have clarified that he was wrong.
So where does the truth lie? Has Elon Musk taken the wind out of the whole Twitter was gag debate, or has he actually endorsed it and added to it? And more importantly, are his comments coming from a place where he truly wants to talk about respecting the law as a business operating out of a country, or he merely wants to secure his financial interests in that nation, including in India? Joining us on the debate, we have with us Sanju Verma, National Spokesperson of the BJP, Abhijit Iyer Mitra, Senior Fellow at the IPCS, Dr. Sumansi Raman, Political Analyst, and Vivek Silas, Spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party. I'll start with you, Sanju Verma, because the charge is that you're celebrating prematurely and that Elon Musk actually did say exactly what Jack Dorsey did, that Twitter was threatened with a shutdown and Twitter was essentially bullied by your government.
You know, Padmaja, I just have this to say. On a lighter note, today Elon Musk has been declared an Andhbhakt. Nobel laureate Paul Romer has been declared an Andhbhakt. Great academicians like Anurag Mairal, Satish Tripathi, Neeli Bendupaddi from Ivy League institutes who hailed Narendra Modi and his development model, they've been declared Andhbhakts. Astrophysicist Neil Tyson is a certified Andhbhakt. And of course, Ray Dalio, the biggest investor after Warren Buffett, is an Andhbhakt too. Why? Because all these people have hailed Narendra Modi and have commented unequivocally on how the India story is incredibly exciting. Now, on a more serious note, let it be very clear, there are two issues here. What Jack Dorsey said and now what Elon Musk has said. is that about freedom of speech and free expression? Or is that about complying with the law of the land when you decide to do business in a different country and not your native country? I just have this to say, Padmaja. And, during my corporate days, I was selling the India story to just about every hedge fund and pension fund manager. I know so many of them today who hail the Modi model. When you are a company who wishes to do business in US, whether you are an Indian company or a bona fide American company, there are two big laws that you have to comply with. The Securities and Exchange Commission Act of 1934 and the Privacy Act of 1974. I want to ask people who are Modi baiters and Modi naysayers, are you telling me that Twitter and Elon Musk should come to India, set up shop, generate profits, generate revenues in the world's third largest social media market and not follow the law of the land? Are we a banana republic where everybody can simply come in, walk in and do as they please? Padmaja, and just one more thing. I just want to very quickly tell you that people who are today saying that, oh, look, Jack Dorsey said that free speech was being scuttled. This is the same lot who do not accept what Christopher Wiley, the whistleblower of the Cambridge Analytica case, said in front of a UK parliamentary body in 2018. He clearly said that 5 crore Facebook accounts were illegally harvested at the behest of the Congress party. This is Christopher Wiley, the whistleblower of Cambridge Analytica, testifying before the British Parliament. But that time they said, oh, Christopher Wiley bhi andhbhakt hai. So let me ask you one thing. When you go and do business in the European Union, you know something, Padmaja, which not many people talk of? Today, the European Union has the most stringent cyber laws under the GDPR, more stringent than the 1995 laws. India, in fact, has very liberal cyber laws, comparatively speaking.
So in Rome, do as the Romans do and follow the Romans' laws, and that's pretty much what Elon Musk today has said. Dr. Sumanth Raman, how is this dictatorship? And nobody was being gagged. All that was being done was, hello, this is our law, please follow it, thank you. And Elon Musk is saying it.
Yeah, Padmaja, I think it takes an enormous leap of faith to say that Elon Musk is actually refuting what Jack Dorsey said. I mean, common sense and those who follow English, even at a very basic level, will understand that both have more or less said the same thing. Elon Musk just says, going forward, we have to follow the law. If we don't, we will be shut down, we will be arrested, and we will be blocked. None of those, he didn't say, mind you, note the words, he chose his words very carefully. He didn't say, we will have to face legal action. He says, we will be arrested, we will be shut down, and we will be blocked. Which is pretty much what Jack Dorsey said.
No, Jack Dorsey actually very specifically said, I'll make it easier for all of you.
Shut down Twitter in India.
I will actually play out for you both what Jack Dorsey said and what Elon Musk has said today, because Jack Dorsey very specifically said they told us to remove some content and then they raided our employees and arrested them. None of that has been endorsed by Elon Musk. Let's play it out for the benefit of all our English language speaking viewers so that they can decide for themselves. Let's listen in.
Twitter doesn't have a choice but to obey local governments. If we don't obey local government laws, then we will get shut down. So the best we can do is really to hew close to the law in any given country. But it is impossible for us to do more than that, or we will be blocked and our people will be arrested. So one cannot just apply, America to Earth, because Earth is not. They have different rules and regulations and different forms of government.
India, for example, India is a country that had many requests of us around the farmers' protest, around particular journalists that were critical of the government, and it manifested in ways such as we will shut Twitter down in India, which is a very large market for us. We will raid the homes of your employees, which they did. We will shut down your offices if you don't follow suit. And this is India, a democratic country.
Here's the difference, Dr. Sumanth Raman. Breaking the law is one thing, and critical of the government is a very different thing. You can be critical of the government, but content that breaks the law will be removed not just in India, but anywhere in the world, including in so-called first world countries where
Absolutely. And
Twitter
who
was
says-
threatened with a shutdown. Twitter was told,
Point-
you either take off this
Yes.
content or we'll
Yes.
shut you
America-
down, in so many words.
1 second. 1 second. Padmaja, if I can speak.
Yes.
2 points. He says that clearly that countries like India do not have the same kind of free speech principles like America. That is what he says when he says we cannot take the
Where does
rules
he
that
say that?
exist in America and apply it across the world.
Oh my God, this
he
man is
says
lying
that. It's
through his
very
teeth.
clear. He says there is a difference between America and the other places. What rubbish. Please play the tape. Please
Of
play
course
that
there is a-
Elon
of
Musk
course
clip.
he said that.
Very
This man
clearly
is lying
says
through his
teeth.
we
you-
cannot assume
Hold on,
everywhere is like
gone
America.
insane.
His exact
Hatred
words
for
are,
Prime Minister
okay, let me
Modi.
bring in Abhijit Iyer Mitra, because now we are all
Suman
language
Singh has gone
experts and we are
insane.
reading
Play
between
the
the
clip
lines.
for Modi.
Because Elon Musk clearly is not capable of
Padmaja,
speaking
play the
for
clip.
himself.
Play the
If he
clip.
wanted to
Play
say,
the
Dr.
clip.
Suman Raman, that India is a third-rate country which has no
Play
free
the clip.
speech, he would have said as much.
Play the clip.
He wouldn't have to say one can't just
didn't
apply
say
America
that.
to earth.
He didn't
He would
say
have said
that.
as much, right?
He didn't
He
say
didn't
that.
need us to sit here
He
with the
didn't say
Websters and
that.
try and parse what
He
he's
said
saying.
very clearly. He
Suman
said,
Raman needs
he
basic
said
English
very
vocabulary
clearly,
classes.
the question was asked when about what he felt about Jack Dorsey's comment
Did you
on
see?
Yes.
India, and his reply was very clear, where he says we cannot apply or assume the principles of America to be the laws in America to apply everywhere around the world.
No, sir,
What
he
does
did
that
not
mean?
say that. His specific words
When
were,
governments tell
one
him
just
that
can't
they will be
apply
shut
America to earth. We have to obey local government and local
Exactly.
rules.
With
Unquote.
reference to what?
Obviously, you
Exactly.
can't. Every
With
country has
reference
different
to what?
rules.
Now you tell
Okay,
me,
does it
Padmaja,
show
what
that
does
India
that
is a
mean?
lesser
India
democracy?
not
What
Abhijit
does that
Iyer Mitra?
mean? What
Because
does
obviously
that mean?
America is the pinnacle of
With
democracy, and
reference
if
to
Elon
what?
Musk has said that
Apply
American
America-
laws cannot be applied to India,
America,
hence proven
apply
India
apply
is the
America
pix.
with reference to what?
Sir, are you
reference
actually
to
suggesting
what?
on Indian TV that
Padmaja,
American laws should
apply
govern
America
India?
with reference to what?
India has its own laws because it's a separate
Not at
country.
all. But you're not understanding what Elon Musk said. Don't,
Because, sir, I
Padmaja,
am listening to
please,
Elon Musk
please
and taking
don't
him at
twist what I
his
said.
at face
I
value.
am saying
You
very
obviously are
clearly,
delving deeper
Elon
into his mind
Musk-
and reading
Elon
between
Musk-
the lines.
Look, common sense. No, it is common sense.
Okay.
Anybody who has common sense will understand what Elon Musk was saying.
Well,
Because
just
he was
like
asked
India is an
about
inferior
Jack
democracy,
Dorsey
maybe my common
commenting
sense is
about
inferior.
Being intimidated by the government.
Let's draw
And
in
he
Abhijit
said,
Iyer
we
Mitra.
cannot assume what is applicable in America to other
Okay,
countries.
Abhijit Iyer Mitra.
Common sense,
Common sense.
which seems to be very uncommon.
Maybe. Abhijit Iyer Mitra.
I'm not going to go into innuendo and read into what either Elon or Jack said. I'm just going to recite a whole set of facts to you. And I want you to take you back to the Tahrir Square revolt. You know, the Egyptian Arab Spring that removed Hosni Mubarak from power after 30, 40 years. Jack Dorsey is on the record calling that a Twitter revolution that was egged on by Twitter. The CIA Twitter servers were due for maintenance that night when Hosni Mubarak was finally removed from power. The CIA had instructed Twitter to not take the servers down and continue. They continued. And all of this is Jack Dorsey on the record. You can search for this on YouTube, where he says that we kept those servers online, we amplified certain tweets, and we achieved certain results. And he calls what happened at Tahrir Square a Twitter revolution. Fact number one. Fact number two, and this is not innuendo, this is all of what Jack Dorsey has himself said, since we're treating Jack Dorsey as some paragon of truth out here. Number two. Did Jack Dorsey on the 6th of January remove tweets by President Trump and then proceed to ban him completely from Twitter? If you go read the last 3 tweets of Trump, There was far less incitement there than the tweets the Indian government wanted removed on the 26th of January, when certain farmers, they were feudal lords taking out their tractors, running amok, beating up cops. I think every TV channel saw exactly what happened. And this was a man who, based on his legal advisor, a lady called Vijaya Gadde, who has time after time in congressional hearings proven to be, let's say, mendacious to say the very least, censored and banned President Trump. Now, let us assume Sumant Raman is correct and American law should apply. Tell me, is there a different standard of law to be applied to white people like President Trump?
I never said that.
Or is there...
I did not say that.
But it was common sense.
Don't misquote me. I did not say that.
No, but you were implying all kinds of things in what Jack Dorsey said. So I can imply all kinds of things in what you said also. No, what is sauce for the goose is sauce for the gander.
Jack Dorsey, Elon Musk said it. Elon Musk said it.
Same thing. According to you, it's the same thing. No, according to you, Elon Musk validated what Jack Dorsey said.
What is
I will come to my interpretation later. First, let me finish what I had to say.
No, what is the meaning of what Elon Musk
said? Let us go through the
Okay.
factual errors in what Jack Dorsey said. There was no employee of Twitter who was raided. Twitter offices were not raided. A visit was paid there and a notice was posted up on the glass doors. I think Times Now has visuals of those glass doors being posted up. If any member, I actually have friends in Twitter who I called up when this thing happened, and they said nobody got raided. Notices were sent to the then Twitter chief. A notice was posted up.
So what's
Jack
the point?
Dorsey was
Did India get a clean sheet today from Elon Musk or no? Because essentially that's the nub of the debate. We cannot decide on that.
So look, there is no clean sheet to be had. The accusations themselves are you enforcing your laws? Yes, obviously we're enforcing our laws. Who else's laws are we meant to enforce? If there's a riot going on and you want to prevent people from egging on that riot, what exactly are you meant to be doing?
Exactly. It's as simple as that. And let me quote to you
It's
now,
that simple.
Mr. Vivek Silas, a couple of examples. The European Union, because obviously now we are saying, oh, American laws are the paragon of how laws should be and they should apply everywhere. So the European Union, let's talk about first world countries, raised the prospect of a big fine or a ban if Twitter failed to follow new legislation. Twitter's new owner, Elon Musk, was told that he had huge work ahead and he will have to comply with the EU's Digital Services Act, which require tech firms to tackle problems including abusive posts and disinformation. Subsequently, in July 2021, Australia passed the Online Safety Act, which came into effect in January 2022. The act empowers the e-safety commissioner to order social media websites not only to take down content, but if they do not do it within 24 hours, 555,000 Australian dollars would be the fine that Twitter, Facebook, or any social media company would have to face. Every country has told social media websites, comply or we will fine you, we will shut you down. What do you expect India to say? No, walk all over us. Do what you want. We are your vassals, dear sirs. What did you expect us to say?
No.
Exactly.
First of all, very good evening to you, Padmaja ji. And
Good evening,
I
sir.
would just like to say that the law of the land has to be followed, whether it's Twitter or any other multinational company for that matter, But the law of the land doesn't say, or it doesn't mean that you can be compelled to be a part of, in suppressing the farm law movement. What Mr. Jack Dorsey said, I don't know what he said was right or wrong, but if he was the CEO, at the moment, if he is not the CEO of Twitter, doesn't mean that he was lying or he was under the influence of someone.
Sir,
as
he
far
has
as
been
Mr.
called out
Elon
by
Musk
the
is
new
concerned, he's
Twitter
a big
CEO, that's the
one of
whole
the biggest
point.
businessmen in the world.
The new Twitter owner has said as much,
Yes,
that
I'm
common
coming to
sense
that.
requires you to follow the law of the land, period. That's all he's saying. Where is the gag? Where is the bullying? Where is the threat?
Yes,
Where is the
law of
arrest?
Padmaja, can I quickly respond, please?
I just said the law of the land. The law of the land has to be followed, ma'am, and it should be followed, whether it is the European Union or it's the Australian government.
Follow the law of the land.
It's not that. But the law of the land, my point is that the law of the land is not for suppressing a movement like what the Bharatiya Janata Party was trying to do with Twitter in India.
विवेक साइलेंस जी, आप मेरे को ये बता दीजिए, अखिलेश जी ने फार्म एजिटेशन पे कितनी ट्वीट करी और उनमें से कितनी हटाई गई? आप बस इतना बता दीजिए। आपको पता है? आपकी पार्टी के सोशल मीडिया हैंडल में अखिलेश जी ने खुद फार्म लॉज के ऊपर कुछ नहीं तो 2 दर्जन ट्वीट्स किए हुए हैं, उनमें से एक भी नहीं हटाया गया। How are you claiming that these protests were suppressed? How are you claiming that anyone's speech was suppressed? All of your tweets are still there.
मैम दबाव ट्विटर पे था।
अरे दबाव ट्विटर पे उन लोगों के था जो लोग कह रहे थे
मोदी जी को
कि रेड फोर्ट पे जाके चढ़ाई कर दो और मोदी इज कैरिंग आउट फार्मर जेनोसाइड। कत्लेआम थोड़ी ना करवाएंगे अपने देश में।
It was the pressure that was being built on the government of Bharatiya Janata Party that the farm laws had to be taken back. It was eventually taken back, ma'am.
No, sir. No.
And Bharatiya Janata Party was trying to suppress this. The Bharatiya Janata Party was trying to suppress the movement by calling the farmers Atangwadi, Pakistani, Khalistani and whatnot.
And clearly the BJP suppressed the anti-farm law agitation by eventually rolling back the farm laws. That's the best way to suppress, to actually accede to their demands.
Finally, they had to take it back.
All right. Sanju Verma respond, then Tehseen Poonawalla, I'll bring you in. Yes.
Yes. You know, okay, now the Samajwadi Party panelists have made umpteen recklessly wild allegations at the BJP. First and foremost, let me tell you that the BJP never tried to suppress the farm agitation through Twitter. But if Twitter ran hashtag saying Modi wants genocide of farmers, obviously the Indian state will intervene. No state and no sane-minded citizen will endorse a hashtag saying that the leading leader of the land is involved in the genocide
more than
of
700 farmers died. More than 700 farmers died, Sanju ji.
You know, please, Mr. Silas, I did not.
Sir, right now we're talking about Twitter. We can address each one of these issues one by one. We can address each one of these issues one by one. But you also failed to mention कि उसी किसान आंदोलन का खुद का जो ट्विटर हैंडल था वो कभी सस्पेंड नहीं हुआ, उसके कुछ एक ट्वीट्स हटाए गए। राकेश टिकैत जी के भी ट्वीट्स नहीं हटाए गए, आपके खुद के समाजवादी पार्टी के ट्वीट्स नहीं हटाए गए। कैसे सप्रेस हो गया, आपने अभी भी उसका एग्जांपल नहीं दिया है। एनी हाउ, अदर देन द लॉ बीइंग अप्लाइड। प्लीज फिनिश 30 seconds, संजू वर्मा।
Padmaja, you know, taking on from where Abhijit Iyer Mitra, he made some very interesting points. And I have only this to tell you, that, you know, Manish Maheshwari was the MD and the head of Twitter India at the peak of the Twitter controversy. And when the Indian government repeatedly asked Twitter to take down some content which was not in line with our child pornography norms, Twitter refused to do that. Twitter showed Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh as separate countries. Twitter showed Leh as part of China. This is all publicly documented. And when the Delhi police filed an FIR and said that he has to appear before the grievance committee and he refused to do so, what did Manish Maheshwari say? He said, forget being the MD of Twitter India. मैं तो Twitter का employee भी नहीं हूँ. Then Delhi police asked him कि आप Twitter के employee नहीं हैं, तो आपका Twitter.com का email ID कैसे है? He said, oh, I report into some Singapore entity. अच्छा भाई साहब, आपके Singapore boss का नाम क्या है? मुझे तो पता नहीं whom I report into. Okay. This is Manish Maheshwari giving absolute gobbledygook gibberish to the Delhi police. Despite being the managing director of Twitter India, it cannot be more shambolic than this. And I want to just end by saying one thing. In her testimony in February 2023 to the, House Committee and Nancy Mace, what did Vijaya Gadde say? Nancy Mace asked her a specific question. She said, you removed posts by Jay Bhattacharya, a leading academician teaching at Stanford Medical School. You removed posts by doctors who have actually done medicine from Harvard. Do you know more than them? Why did you remove those posts relating to vaccination at the peak of COVID-19? What did she say? I had to remove those because they were not aligned with our individual policies pertaining to the vaccination drive. It is very clear, यदि free speech की कोई धज्जियां उड़ा रहा था, it was Manish Maheshwari. यदि free speech की कोई धज्जियां उड़ा रहा था, it was Vijaya Gadde. यदि free speech की कोई धज्जियां उड़ा रहा था, it was Jack Dorsey. And if Sumam C. Raman is so mendacious, blinded by subterfuge, deception, hypocrisy, he cannot see this, then he should visit a shrink.
Okay. Let's not make this about Sumansi Raman. Tehseen Poonawalla.
I think, Padmaja, I have to respond.
I will get you
give me
time, but
to
I think
reply.
Tehseen Poonawalla
You have
also
to give me
deserves to
time
have his
reply.
say, sir.
This
He
is
has
not
been
fair.
waiting patiently.
This is not fair. I
If-
can call her names.
I will give you
Take
time,
me
sir,
few
but
seconds to
all
call
right,
her
take
names.
30 seconds and respond, but it's
not
unfair
what
to
I can't
Tehseen. I'm
go
just
down
placing
to
this
that
on
level.
record. You're being unfair to Tehseen Poonawalla, but take your time. 30 seconds.
Okay, let
Because your
Tehseen
name
speak.
was taken.
Let Tehseen speak. It's
Tehseen
not worth
Poonawalla,
responding to this lady.
the simple thing is that
it's not
Twitter
worth
under
speaking
Jack
to you.
Dorsey was trying to run circles around the Indian government. The Indian government laid down the law for them. Today they are crying victim and have been called out by Mr. Modi's latest fanboy, if you will, which is Elon Musk.
Good evening, Padmaja. Finally, I come in. And let me just at the onset make it clear, while I continue to be anti-BJP and pro-India, because that's the right stand, I am a fan of Elon and not a fan of Jack. I think the left are loonies. Abhijit knows that. So I'm not a fan of left loonies like Jack. So I don't say about Jack in the Horner or Jack
And
in the
Dr.
Corner.
Sumansi Raman, what about him? Are you his fan?
Oh, he's a friend of mine and he's not left. He's a centrist like me. But let's come to the point of the
I know
issue.
both.
Yeah, he's both. See,
Yeah.
but see, let's come to the issue. The issue is hand is not Jack in the Horner or Jack in the Corner set. The issue is on your show. I saw the most honorable IT Minister Rajiv Chandrasekhar saying that Twitter violated Article 1419. I'm quoting the honorable IT Minister of the Indian Constitution. And my submission to is I don't care what Jack says. If Twitter violated laws, what did this incompetent government do? Why did they not act against them? Do they have the spine of a molten eclair? All the examples that are being given are of the US Senate pulling up Vijaya or Mahesh or whoever. If laws in India are violated, and India is a sovereign country which we all believe in, why are we taking US as example? You should have acted. You didn't act. Now you're coming here and crying victim. People have credit card, debit cards. They have a victim card.
That
Keep
is
playing the victim
factually
card.
incorrect, Tehseen Poonawalla, because it is when they were violating India's laws that the Delhi police went to their office in the national capital, pasted a notice there. That's it. And at that time, the Congress's response was, Twitter office raided. This is how democracy is being snuffed out in India. Today you
Okay,
sit on
Padmaja,
TV and
let me
say, why
answer-
did they not
Padmaja,
do
let me
more?
answer that. No,
They
Padmaja,
barely
let me
took a
answer.
baby step and you were crying murder.
Correct.
Exactly.
So I am
Because I
saying
need to
Congress
respond.
did, please, Sanjay, I am saying Congress cried murder. Congress was protecting Twitter. If Article 14 and 19 are fundamental rights are violated, sticking a notice of no use, you need to goddamn act. If you can't act because Congress is
Yes,
going to
I will
cry
tell you
victim,
how
then the
we
problem
acted.
is with you, not with Congress. Point
Okay.
number two.
I will tell you how
I
we
want to make
acted.
another
Padmaja,
point.
can I quickly
I would like to
come
make
in?
a larger point. I would
All
like
right,
to-
very quickly, I want to take a quick
Okay, let
segue
Sanjay
at this
respond
point
then.
because we've
Let
got the
Sanjay
Prime
respond.
Minister arriving at his hotel in Washington, D.C. We will go live across to our colleague on the ground in just a second, but these are the live images that you are getting. Wherever he goes, he gets mobbed by the people. The first images of the Prime Minister, whether it is for the yoga session, whether he tries to get into his hotel, he first has to wade through a sea of people, and quite clearly, even outside his hotel, it's just the sheer number of people who are a part of the Indian diaspora. Actually, in today's yoga session, we even saw several people from America, American citizens. There he is, arriving there just a minute ago and already getting mobbed by the people. You know, anytime, irrespective, and all of us have, covered one or the other of the Prime Minister's visits abroad, irrespective of whichever country he is in, the Indian diaspora makes it a point to at least turn up in places where they hope they will catch a glimpse of him. It could be Russia, it could be Japan, it could be in the United States, in Australia, but it really has to be seen to be believed the way that people come. A lot of people say, oh, these are crowds who are bussed in. This is Indian overseas friends of the BJP, etc. Be that as it may, on a working day for people to actually make the time in a country like the United States in itself says a lot. All right, make your point. Sanju Verma.
Okay. Padmaja, Tehseen raised a very important point. And let me just tell him this. Tehseen, if there is anybody today who is doing Rona Dhona on Twitter, just look at the tweets by Jairam Ramesh, look at the tweets by Supriya Shrihet, look at the tweets by Mallikarjun Kharge, rather than taking pride in the fact that the India story has been hailed. Rona Dhona Kalesh Karna is the hallmark of all rabid Congresses, including your Pappu. Now I will tell you what
Okay.
this
No.
government
Language,
did.
please. Language. Okay, we won't use these words.
Okay, fine. I will
Yes.
tell you what this government
Please
did.
speak with respect about the
Padmaja,
Prime Minister.
Now let me tell Tehseen what this government did. Section 79 of the IT Act earlier said that any intermediary shall not be held legally or otherwise liable for any third-party information, data, or communication link made available or hosted on its platform. This was the status till 2018. The IT Act came into being in 2001. Now, Tehsil will appreciate that in 2021, we said that if a particular social media has a user base of more than 50 lakh, then simply, saying that the third party is liable for defamatory content or pornographic content will not work. Even the third party and the intermediary, if it does not follow rules relating to the IT Act amended in 2021, if they don't follow those rules, they may stand to lose their license.
Tehsil Poonawalla, happy?
The internet a safer place.
You're happy with the law, and you're also giving the go-ahead that tomorrow, if under these laws, Twitter is not only issued notice, but somebody is arrested, you would be there cheering on and saying, good, they've broken our laws, I support this act.
That exactly is the problem that that Sanju Verma spoke about Section 79 of the IT Act, intermediary protection. It was actually my point that I was going to make. Imagine selling dictatorship as a virtue. This, Sarbaja, is absolutely problematic. If you take away the intermediary protection, please Sanju, don't interrupt me.
In the sand. Whom are you calling?
Okay, one time, please, let him finish. You had your say, let him finish. Yes, Tehsil Poonawalla.
The Shreya Singhal judgment and the IT Act 2001 and Sanjuji, please. The IT Act 2001 and the Shreya Singhal judgment gave intermediary protection. This amendment is not just draconian and dangerous, Padmaja, that takes away the protection, but furthermore, what happened, there was a show, I was on your show, the government's attempt to bring in a fact-check unit under the PIB to control social media, which they had to withdraw when Bombay High Court got involved, actually shows that the government wants to control social media, which is scary.
Okay, again, I don't want to get into the fact-check debate because then it's going to be argued, oh, Karnataka government is bringing in the same thing. Dr. Sumansi Raman, a centrist like you, Tehsil Poonawalla, is also arguing that if the laws are violated, penal action should be taken. What's happening so far is actually very mild. Do you know the kind of content that social media platforms refuse to take off? And today we are seeking protection for them. Let me give you an example. Twitter India was sent a notice by the NCW which said that pornographic material was being platformed by them. There was child porn, sir. And Twitter did not remove it for almost a year. They refused to comply. And what are we supposed to say? That in the name of democracy, we should just let them say, yeah, of course, host child porn. Why not? Because you can't apply America to the rest of the world. Please go ahead.
This debate is being completely, look, this is purely not, this entire debate is being twisted as if somebody is saying they need not obey the law of the land.
It is.
The point is,
it
the law of
literally
the
is.
land
Jack Dorsey was told only so much. He was told, sir, these handles are violating our laws. Take them down.
Law of the land.
After quitting the company, he came and said they threatened to arrest us. No, they didn't. They threatened only if you broke the law, which applies, by the way, to you and I. If you and I break the law, then we also will be arrested. We can't say, oh, we are being arrested for breaking the law. What an attack on freedom.
Forget it. You don't want...
You don't go on. Finish your point. Finish your point, Dr. Sumansi Raman. I'll come to you, Abhijit.
Complete my sentence. Look, let's be very clear. This is not about violating the law of the land. Laws of the land must be followed. The point is the government decides what needs to be taken down, and it can very well include criticism of the government. If there is any incitement to violence, if there is anything that affects law and order, obviously it needs to come down. Those are no-brainers in any country, and that is what the law of the land will cover.
So what's the problem?
But something critical of the ruling government is not something which should be going down. Which should be taken down.
So which was the tweet critical of the government that was taken down?
That's the whole problem.
Which was the tweet critical of the government taken down?
No. This is not about that. Jack Dorsey says certain tweets about the farmers' protest.
Which ones? Which were the ones critical of government?
They were inciting violence.
I don't know. You have to ask Jack Dorsey.
You have to ask Jack Dorsey.
You should ask Jack Dorsey. If you're the one endorsing him, you should ask him.
Why not you call Jack Dorsey?
Why don't you call Jack Dorsey before taking up cudgels on his behalf?
Ask him.
I'm the one saying
I don't run a channel. I don't run a TV channel.
Arey, but you are the one almost sitting here defending him.
I will.
At least bother to ask what you are
I certainly will
defending.
call Jack Dorsey.
What are you even defending on TV, Dr. Suman Siraman? At least bother to find out.
Jack Dorsey and
I mean, we have the Twitter handle of the Indian National Congress day in and day out, putting a meme on the Prime Minister saying, Modani, tere chehre se nazar nahi hatti, chupasan, camera asan, all of them are merrily there, as they should be in a democracy. What is the censorship we are all bemoaning?
No, like the disqualification of Rahul Gandhi.
We saw that. Twitter se you gone to disqualification. Anyway, last word, Abhijit Iyer Mitra. I will give you logic for disqualification. You jump to BBC.
Call Jack Dorsey. Ask him which tweet.
You know, this
you ask him.
If you want to be fair,
you
call
ask
Jack Dorsey.
him.
Ask him which tweet he wanted removed.
But sir, I was expecting you would do that. But anyway, final word, Abhijit Iyer Mitra.
Ask him. You're the one who is saying.
You were the one defending him. Abhijit Iyer Mitra.
This all comes down to
You're
the
the one who's
intermediary
saying,
act.
I don't know. I'm saying
Now,
call him and ask him.
Okay.
So, you know, this all comes down to the intermediary act. What was an intermediary meant to do? They were meant to allow a free and fair exchange of views on the internet. The problem was the management at Twitter abrogated itself the right to decide what is free and fair, what views will be allowed, what views will not be allowed. There was once, let me tell you my personal experience with them. There was once a chap from JNU who dresses up as a woman, who I also dress up as a woman at times, but this one looked particularly ugly. So I said, oh my God, my eyes, my eyes, my eyes. And Twitter decided this was hate speech against trans people and took my post down. I have all kinds of abuses against the government up on my Twitter handle. None of them has Twitter forced me to take them down. The one thing that Twitter did force me, or it has been withheld in India, is one of these hilarious videos by Gurpatwant Singh Pannu, who I think is an absolutely hilarious comedian, because it violates India's national sovereignty and integrity. Now, the problem here is that Twitter did not act as an intermediary, it started acting as an editor. It crossed the bounds of, so for example, if you get conned on Amazon, you don't file a case against Amazon, you file a case against the vendor, and the police then lands up at the vendor's house. But if Amazon says, I vouch for this, this product is allowed and this product is not allowed, it is Amazon certified, as you are doing with blue ticks in Twitter. And they made it very clear in their policy that a blue tick implied a certification of views. It was going after that. So, you know, what Sumant Raman has done has very clearly muddled up what was a very clean conversation about how the intermediary laws were abused and turned into an editorial protection act by Twitter's management.
And going a step further, if I may, not only did Twitter start acting as editor and activist, but they expected that they will not be subject to Indian laws. And that really is unpardonable and unacceptable in any sovereign country. And that pretty much is what Elon Musk has said in so many words. I will leave it at that. Thanks very much, gentlemen, and Sanju Verma for joining me.